Hello, friends, and welcome back to Get Your Play Online. My name is Sarah. I'm going to move my camera up a little bit, and this is Build with Sarah. So we make stuff every week and we get creative. And so today we are making Lego tree houses. So I'll show you what that will look like. Look, here is what our Lego tree house will look like. Yours might look a little bit different, but that's okay. This is what we're making today, Lego tree houses. All right, so you can go and grab your big bin of Legos and we can get started in a little bit. So yeah, go grab your Legos. Whatever you're watching me on, like a phone or a computer or something, you can pick me up and move me to wherever your Legos are so that we can build together. So we can do that. So I'll give you a minute to go to wherever your Legos are. Again, my name is Sarah, and this is Build with Sarah for Get Your Play Online. If you have not tuned into any of our lives before, we just like to have lots of fun with you. We like to play with you because this can be a stressful time for you. I don't know if you're feeling normal or if you're feeling like lately the world has been kind of crazy, right? Like, I don't know what is going to happen with schools in the fall, right? We don't know if you're going to do school on the computer or go back to school in person. We don't know. So it can be kind of a crazy time. So if you're feeling that, it's okay. And we just want to play with you and have fun with you and know that this is just a fun place that we can play together. So I think you have hopefully found your Legos by now. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. Let me show you all of the parts of our Lego treehouse that we are going to be building today. So this is what we're looking like. So we're going to need a Lego base just like this. And then we're going to need lots of this size of Legos to make our tree trunk that's going to go up the whole way up. So we're going to need lots of those. I used a lot of black and brown ones, but you can use whatever colors you have. So we're going to need Legos like this. You're going to need a platform to go up here on the top. Oh, my guy fell over. You're going to need a platform to go up here on the top like this. And over here you can see I made a little swing. It doesn't actually work, but we can pretend. So you'll need some tiny little pieces to do that, and then a flat piece down here at the bottom. And you might want some little fence pieces to go around the top, and a ladder, and then maybe if you have some bushes or anything, or a flag, and then some tree kind of pieces for the top. So that's okay if you don't have all of those pieces. I'll show you that if you don't have all of those pieces, it's okay. You can still build it with us. All right, so let's get started. I just want to say that this can be a little bit tricky because it can be a little bit wobbly. You see that? Because it's resting on such a thin tree trunk. It's such a wobbly thing. So if it breaks, it's okay. When I was building this the first time, it broke on me, and that was okay. So just know that if it breaks, it's normal, and we'll just fix it and try again, okay? So I know you can do it. Alrighty, so I'm going to take this apart so that we can rebuild it. I left it up for you so you can see what it's going to look like at the end, but I'm going to take it apart so we can rebuild. See how wobbly it is. But I know you can do it. I know that I went over the pieces that you'll need pretty fast, so if you can just have your Lego bin nearby, that would be the best way to do it so that you can just grab pieces whenever I tell you that you'll need them. But I'll show you again what you'll need once I take this all apart. So every Wednesday at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, we're going to have building time with me. My name is Sarah again. And so sometimes that will be with Legos. Sometimes it will be with other things. And we just get to get creative and use our brains to design stuff and build stuff. And it's just a really fun time. So if you like building stuff, you can join me on Thursdays at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Alrighty. This is almost all taken apart now. Alright, so the first things you'll need are a big base piece like this. So go ahead and grab this. And then grab a piece like this to be the part of the treehouse where you'll put the things on the treehouse. So grab those two pieces first of all. I'll give you some time to find those in your Lego bin. Alrighty, we're going to get started now. So we have our big Lego base piece. So our first step is to build our Lego tree trunk. So to do that, we're going to need lots of pieces that are this size. Can you see that? It's like 2 dots and 2 dots, so it's 4 dots on it. You can see how big that is. I like to use black and brown pieces. So if you have black and browns, that will look good because those are like the colors of a real tree trunk. But if you have different colors, that is okay too. So find lots of pieces that are like that. I'll give you some time to do that because I know when you're looking through a big Lego bin, it can take some time to find pieces that look like that. So also if you have pieces that look like this, that's okay too. You can just take 2 of them and put them together. And then you have the size that you need, right? So that will work too. All right. So once you find some, you can start making your tree trunk. So I'm just gonna start with one of my pieces on the bottom and then put some on top, and I'm just gonna slowly start building up my tree trunk. It's gonna need to be pretty tall to be able to have our tree house in it. There you go, you can see how we're going to be doing it. So as you are looking through your Lego bin and you're finding pieces that again look like this, you can put them on your tree trunk. And you can see here I have 2 tiny ones. So remember, like I said, if you have 2 smaller ones, they'll look like this. That's okay. We just put them together and it works. It's okay. I like to alternate between my black and my brown colors, but you can do whatever colors you want. If you wanted to make a tree trunk with crazy colors, that is okay too. You can choose however you want your tree trunk to look. So yeah, we're just making a long stick that we'll put in the center of our Lego base once we have it made. But we still need to make it a little bit higher. So I am almost all done building my Lego base, or building my tree trunk. Here we go. So here's how my tree trunk looks. You can see how tall it is. I'll count how tall it is just so you can know too. So mine is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Mine is 18 Legos tall. So I would suggest that you make yours at least 12 Legos tall, okay? Just so it's tall enough that we can make everything that we need to with our tree house. So I would say make yours at least 12 Legos tall. Mine is 18 Legos tall, but you can make it however tall you want. So we're going to move on to our next step now. So now that you have your Lego tree trunk made, I want you to turn it sideways like this, and then think about where's the middle, and then go a little bit to one side so you can see. Here would be about my middle, and then I'm going to go a little bit to this side. So I'll be like about right here, okay? And then I'm just going to break it so we have two different pieces, okay? See that? So now you should have a taller one and one that's a little bit shorter, okay? A taller one and a little bit shorter one. So take your taller one and put it in the center of your base piece, like that. That is going to be the bottom part of our tree house. And we want to make sure our taller one is there because, as you can see, it needs to be tall enough for our ladder to, it's kind of dark. Oh. We want it to be tall enough for our ladder to be able to reach the whole way down. Let me angle it down a little more. That lighting is a little better, I think. All right. So take your tall piece, put it in the center of your base piece. Next, take your platform piece. This is the size of my platform piece that I'm going to use for my actual treehouse part. You can use a different size if you want, but make sure you use one that has a bottom that you can attach to your tree trunk. This, for example, this kind will not work because the bottom of this is not going to stick to my tree trunk. But this kind is going to work. So grab a platform that we can use for our tree house. And we're going to stick it onto here. Maybe a little tricky to get it to stick on, but I know you can do it. Make sure you hold with your other hand, because remember, it's a little bit wobbly, but hold with your other hand down here on your tree trunk when you're sticking it on up here to make sure it doesn't fall down. And if it falls down, again, it's okay. You can just fix it and go on from there. All right, so we have the start of our treehouse ready. So now that we have that, take the shorter part of your tree trunk and put it up on top above the other part of your tree trunk. So it looks like our tree trunk just keeps going even though it doesn't, okay? So just make it like a straight line because we're pretending it's our tree that just goes through our tree house, right? Just like in real life, a real tree house. Do you have a real tree house at your house, or have you ever seen a tree house in real life? They're pretty fun to play in. All right. Also, this week is Out of This World week. So I don't know if you've been following our activities, but yeah, our theme this week is Out of This World. So we're building tree houses because they go way up in the air, like they're out of this world. So that is our theme for this week. All right, so now that we have built that, we are going to do our ladder. So if you have, I think a lot of us probably have actual ladder pieces, so you can grab a ladder and put it on. You can see what my ladder looks like. I'll hold it up so you can see really well. There we go. That's what my ladder is looking like. If you don't have a ladder, that is okay too. You can find a piece of string in your house or ribbon, and you'll just need that and then a piece of tape. And so you can take a piece of tape and tape your string on and let it just hang down. So that can be like a little rope that your Lego people can climb up to get up into your treehouse. So that can be another way to do it if you don't have an actual Lego ladder piece. So you can just use a rope, a piece of ribbon or string or rope, and a piece of tape. So that's what you can do if you don't have a Lego ladder. So take your Lego ladder and put that on there. Alrighty. Next, we are going to start putting some stuff in our tree house. So let's think. What do you think our Lego people would like to do in a tree house? I think they might like to just hang out and play games, right? So I'm gonna put a table and chairs. So you can put whatever you want inside your treehouse. You can get creative with this part. So I'm going to put one of these pieces to be like a little table. And you can see how I'm holding under this when I'm putting my table on. I'm using two hands to help it not to break. And then some chairs at our table. So my little Lego people can play some board games in their tree house. All right. I actually want to do my fence now. And you might have to move your table and chairs, but we're going to do our fence. So if you have fence pieces like this, or if you have like any other kind of pieces like that you could use to help your Lego people not fall out of your tall tree house, you could grab those right now and put them around the edges however you want. The good thing about Legos is that if you put them in the wrong spot, they're very easy to just pick them up and move them to a different spot. So yeah, you can take your fence pieces and I'm just making a fence around the edges. And if you're digging through your Lego bin, it might take some time to find your fence pieces if they're all in just one giant bin, so that's okay. If you don't have fence pieces, you could also make a railing around the edges using just pieces like this or something. Let me show you what that might look like. Like that, just so your Lego people won't fall off. It's pretty tricky because it's pretty wobbly. Alrighty, so I'll let you finish up your fence. I'm going to put a few more things in my treehouse. a few more things that I just found when I was digging around in my Lego bin. So one thing I found was a treasure chest. So I'm gonna put that in my tree house. For whatever treasures my Lego people find, they can have a place to put them in their tree house. So again, you can see I'm holding underneath my platform and then sticking down my treasure chest. And I'm just gonna like push my tree trunk down again to make sure it's all nice and sturdy and not gonna fall down on me. All right, so I got my treasure chest and got my fence, got my table and chairs. Okay. So this is the stuff that I'm gonna put in my treehouse. If you have a little bit of a bigger area on top, you might be able to fit some more stuff, but this is all that I can fit in my area. So I'm gonna move on to my next thing, which is a swing in the back. So I'm gonna turn it around to the back side so you can see that. Alrighty. So I'm gonna make a swing. So if you are decorating the top of your treehouse, you can just take a break from that and make a swing with me right now. So you can start digging through your Lego bin to find lots of pieces that are little, like one pieces like this. You can see they're really tiny. They look like this. You see that? Okay, so you just need to find that size. They don't have to be red and white, but just find some pieces like that size, because that is what we're going to need for our swing. So I'll give you some time to find those. As you're finding them, you can put them in a line like this. I like to alternate my colors. I like to have them go red, white, but you can do your swing whatever way that you want. So this is what it's going to look like. But I will give you some time to find these pieces because I know they're really tiny and so they might get lost if you're digging through a Lego bin. You're going to need 12 of these pieces. So right here I have 6. So I'm going to need 6 more. So when you're digging through, you're going to need to find 12. Give you a little more time to find some more. So I have 6 there. I'll just talk to you as you find some more Lego pieces because I know it can take a little bit of time. So how is your summer going? What has been your favorite thing that you have done all summer long? Have you gotten to go anywhere cool? I know a lot of us have been stuck at home, but have you been able to play with any cool toys or go on any fun hikes or anything? Have you done anything fun? You can think about that and you can type it in the comments if you want to. Alrighty. So I think that was enough time for that. So I'm going to show you. We're going to make 2 sticks of 6. Sticks of 6. That's tricky to say. So you're going to make one that has 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you can just put your little 1 pieces on top of each other to make a stick of 6 long. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you can do that if you haven't already. And then I'm gonna make my second stick of 6. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So when you're done that, you should have 2 sticks or little towers that look like this. Okay, they should each have 6 Legos in them, and you should have 2. All right, so this is going to be the first part of our swing. All right, we're gonna move on. If you're not quite done yet, that is okay. I'm sure you can catch up. So next, you're going to need a piece that looks like this. It can also have 4 dots instead of 6 if you want. It can look like that. So it can look like this, or it can look like this. So you're going to need to find one of those, and you can see it's like flat. It's not a tall Lego. So find a piece that looks like that. This, like this, or like this, okay? So once you find that, you're gonna take it and we're putting your 2 sticks of Legos that we just made. We're putting those on top of it. So you can see it's going to look like this. You see that it looks like a U shape? So these are going to be like the rope of the swing, and then this is going to be the part that you sit on when you're swinging. So the swing doesn't actually work. It's just pretend, but that's okay. So yeah, this is what our swing is going to look like to start. And then these are just some extra pieces. Then you're going to need 2 pieces that look like this. You can see these ones are thin too. So get 2 pieces that look like that. If they're taller, like, show ya. If they're taller like this, that's okay too. But I'm gonna use some thinner ones. And then take those pieces and put them, it's hard to do holding it in the air, put them on top of your swing like this. Can you see what that looks like? You can see I have them on the top of the 2 ropes on the sides of the swings. So they go on the top there. All right, and you'll see that we have this dot is like hanging out over the edge, so that's perfect because that means we can put it on the side of our treehouse. This is the part we're going to attach to our treehouse. So I'm going to carefully put it on my treehouse, and look, now we have a swing off the side of our treehouse. So fun. I love that. Cool. Alright, remember it doesn't actually work. If a Lego tried to swing on it, I think it would break, but we can just pretend. Alright, so we have a swing now. Alrighty. Now we're going to add a few more details to our treehouse to make it look some more like real life. So if you don't have these in your Lego bin, that's okay, but just use whatever you have. I have some bushes, so I'm gonna put some bushes down here at the bottom of my Lego tree. So I'm just putting them down. To make it look a little more like real life. you have some flowers or something else, some bushes or anything that you want to put, you can put those down at the bottom. Alrighty, and then I'm gonna add a flag too, because this is their like clubhouse flag. I pretend that my Legos have secret meetings in their treehouse, so this is their flag for their club. So I'm gonna put my flag down here at the bottom too. So if you have a flag, you can add it to your treehouse if you want to. And then I'll give you a minute to find those things. Yeah, and again, you can make your treehouse however you want. So if you find cool stuff in your Lego bin that I don't have in mine, you can totally add it to your treehouse. You can make it however you want to. I also want to show you, if you want to put a door on the front of your treehouse, you could do that. If you want to build like actual walls, I chose to just do a fence on mine, but if you wanted to build walls up and maybe even do a roof on yours and then have the tree branches coming out above that, you can totally do that. That's not what I'm going to show you how to do today, but you can get creative with how you want to do yours. All right, we're going to move on, and I'm going to show you, we're getting close to the end, so I want to show you the part that is really going to make this look like a real life tree house. We need some tree branches, okay? So I'm going to give you some time to dig through your Lego bin and find some tree branches. These are the kinds of tree branches that I have in my Lego bin. You may also have some tree branches that look like this. Either kind will work. Just look through your Lego bin to try and find some tree branches. If you don't find any tree branches, you can find a green piece of Lego like this, and we'll just put it on top and pretend that it's tree branches, and that is okay too. We use our imagination when we're playing Lego, so that is fine. So I'll give you about a minute to dig through and try and find some tree branches to go on top of our tree house to make it look like a real tree house. All right. I'm going to get started in showing you, once you find your tree branches, how we're going to put them on. So you know that at the top of your tree trunk, you're going to have 4 little dots. And so these, if you have this kind of branch, these circles will stick on to one of those 4 little dots. So I'm going to stick it on. You can see how I'm holding with 2 hands. Oops, see that fell off? And that's okay, I'll just fix it. I'm holding on with my other hand onto my tree trunk to hold it still and to make it nice and steady. And so I'm putting on some branches. Now I'm going to put these on another dot. If you have the kind that looks like this, you can see that this goes on this dot. So yours might look like this if you have the kind that looks like palm trees. But I'm not going to use that kind for mine. I'm going to keep adding on some tree branches. And then once all 4 of your dots are filled up with tree branches, you might find some extra ones. And so these extra ones can attach onto some tree branches that are already on there. So these will just stick onto some circles that we already have one there to make them even longer. So this is super wobbly, but that's okay. That'll stick on there. There we go. I like how that looks. I think that looks a lot more like a real tree house. Now that we have our tree branches coming out of the top. Cool. Alright. So yeah, again, if you were digging through your bin and you could not find any tree branches, that is okay. Use some green Legos like this and stick them on top. Alrighty. And I have a fun little step for you if you want to do a little more. Look through your Lego bin and find some tiny pieces that look like this. They look see-through, they look like they might glow in the dark. They look kind of like little lights. So see if you can find any pieces like this. I found yellow ones. You might have blue ones, green ones, different colors, red ones maybe. They look like little jewels too, maybe. So yeah, just try and find some little pieces like that we can pretend are lights. So once you find little pieces, I'm going to put those on top of my tree just to pretend that we have some fun lights in our tree. Because I think it would be so cool to put lights in a tree above our tree house. Like that would make it so fun to be in at nighttime. So I'm going to put those on my tree branches very carefully. If you have this kind of tree branches, well, they can stick on, look. It can stick on there if you have that kind. If you have this kind, it can stick on too. You can figure it out based on whatever kind of tree branches you have. So I am putting on my lights. You can see that I had to take off my branch to put on my lights. So if you need to do that, that's okay. Hold it up so you can get an up-close view. That is what my lights look like on my tree. I think it makes it look really magical. I like that. And I'm also going to add a little parrot into my tree. I'll pretend that he likes to sit up there and hang out. So whatever Lego pieces you find, you can add them into your Lego treehouse if you want to. And then I'm going to take my two Lego people and put them up here in their chairs. And I'll pretend that they're playing a board game up there. Pretend they're hanging out in their new tree house. So my Lego tree house is actually finished. Oh, he fell out of his chair. Oh, they both fell out of their chairs. Oh dear. Okay. Alright, I'm just gonna have them lay on the floor right now. Okay. They're taking a nap in their treehouse. Alright. I'll give you an up-close view to see my final treehouse. See what it looks like. Alright, so that's the front. You can see the ladder and the flag and the bushes. You can see that I have a fence around the edge of it. You can see on the very top of it, I have my tree branches and I have a little parrot sitting up there. and I have some shiny pieces that I'm pretending are lights in my tree. And then I put a little treasure chest up in my tree house. And so I'm going to flip it around to the back. I made a swing in the back. You can see again what the swing looks like. And I put get up even closer there. I put 2 chairs up there and a little table so that my Legos can play games or do their homework or something up there in their treehouse. And I have 2 little Lego people taking a nap in their treehouse. Alrighty. So that is the end of my treehouse. I finished it. So if you want to add more to your treehouse, totally go add more. Get creative with however you want to do it. I am proud of you for making your treehouse with me. If your treehouse broke while you were making it, I am proud of you for putting it back together and moving on and still keeping building it. I'm proud of you for being determined and sticking with it. So good job for sticking with it. That's awesome. Alrighty. Well, thank you for tuning in today to Building Tree Houses on our Wednesdays at 1:00 p.m. Build with Sarah time. So I hope you have a super great rest of your day. I hope you're enjoying our Out of This World week, and maybe stick around for some bedtime stories tonight. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thanks for joining us. Bye, everyone.